Run. Salvano, magician. In Poland, in Paris, in Europe, the two are the same word. Thomas is what a magician is supposed to be. Elegant, poised, sophisticated. In part one of this series on the magic of Salvano, you learned about ropes. Now, we all know about this little thing, thumb tip, used to make a cigarette disappear. In part two of the magic of Salvano, you'll first share his philosophy. We'll remember his incredible stage act. And then you'll see that you can use this thing to make real magic.
You ask me how I became a magician. Well, as everyone, I think by accident. I was a student, and a friend of mine, he invited me to a magic show. Once after training, we were sporty. And the next day we went to see a magician. He did one, it was after the war, about 1945, like that. And I was knocked completely. He did 1.5 hour show, his own show, you know. Oh, okay, he did the usual tricks, the usual stuff, billiard balls, cards, cigarettes, and things which are common. Today, they are classics. But anyway, it was the first time I have seen, I ever heard about a profession like that. So I was sitting like that. I stopped studying, I stopped everything, you know. And it would everything, well, pass normal. Maybe I wouldn't be a magician today if he wouldn't challenge me with a trick, with an egg and silk trick. So, you know, two young guys, I was showing off. I say, oh, that trick I show you after 1 week. So, give a bet, and after 5 days, you know, I was thinking how to do that. I didn't have any idea about magic, and I developed my own method. I showed to his family, and when I have seen the impact the trick did to them, you know, it got me. Since then, you know, I started thinking. 1 year it took me until to discover all the secrets of that magician, because I didn't have anybody. There was no literature in Poland, nothing. After 1 year, I got almost all his tricks, you know. I thought them of myself. Years later, a few years later, when I was already a professional, it proved that many of my methods, they were better. And I do them until today, I do after my own method than the real classical methods. Now the liquid act, that is the last one, because I did a lot of things. You know, I was traveling after the military service. I built up a 2-hour show, one-man show, and I was traveling. I did a tour in Poland, all over Poland. It was a hard time. After 3 years, I changed the whole show, the whole show. And I traveled with a new one, you know, touring in Poland around. And 10 years, maybe 8 or 10 years later, I found the first magic book. Very simple, about cards, techniques, and so on. Nothing to do with that, what I did already. Because there was nothing. There were few professional magicians in Poland, and they were hiding their secrets very, you know. They kept everything in secret. They didn't tell to anybody anything. So I was led to myself completely. I was forced to think myself about. I did a lot of things in magic. That's how it happened. 2 years ago, when I have been in Monte Carlo, I met a magician there, not exactly a magician. He has a circus museum of cirque. And he had also videotapes of magicians. And there I saw Fred Kapp's the first time. That was 2 years ago.
And you thought?
Well, I laughed. You know, that the first time, really, I have seen that, what I was looking for, you know. There was everything. The personality, first of all, you know, himself. And then all how he did it is just beautiful. So that's when I met him. And then, you know, I heard, because we were at the same time at the hospital. And then I met him indirectly, just, you know, because his last stage where he performed was for me the first stage, you know, in this hotel, in this etablissement in Monte Carlo. It was at the Hotel Lowe's, where he finished his career. After 1 week performing there on the stage, he couldn't continue anymore, he died. And I came after him for the show. They told me all the story. I never present myself. I am a magician. I try to be, you know. I mean, yes, you know, when I was younger, it's difficult to be young and to be a magician, you know, to impress people. Because, I mean, a magician must have some personality. He must convince people that he is there. What is very difficult to do when you are a young boy, you know, when you are a young man. The audience claps, nice boy, okay, oh, sympathetic, you know. But it's not that. Sometimes they must not like you, but they must respect you as a magician, you know, and they must be impressed with you. Even they don't like you, because not everyone must like you, yes. That's it. So that you cannot do when you are young. You have not enough experience, you know. You have not developed personality, and that's difficult. You do just tricks, you are sympathetic, that's all. But you are not there.
But later?
You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What?
But later?
Well, later, yes. Life brings experience. Life is creating a man, I think, you know, and insight too. And that is emanating after on stage in a certain way. I love it till now. I'm not crazy about it as I have been before, you know. I was mad, I was crazy, but that's what I say always to friends, to fellow magicians, you know. You have to stop being fascinated yourself with magic. Otherwise you will never be a good performer. You don't understand it? Yeah, I explain you. You know, as long as you are fascinated with something, you do it for yourself. You say, oh, that's fantastic. I do it. Even if it doesn't go with your personality together, you know. But you love it. You have seen by someone else. You like it. It impresses you. Generally, every magical trick. And you, as you usually see people, you know, then they try and they perform for themselves here. You see that, and people, the audience doesn't see what he does, but he sees, because he likes that, you know. And you have to forget that it's your fascination. You must make people being fascinated and people dream. And then you have to do it here for people. You must forget it, you must get out of your skin, stand beside and very coolly analyze and cut. To make people happy, not yourself, you know. And if you make people happy, if they are fascinated, so then it's okay. If you have no, how you say, reason, you have no, you lose the sense of criticism, to criticize that what you do when you are fascinated with that what you do, you know, yourself. You can only criticize when you see someone. It's very difficult to criticize yourself. So you must look at yourself as at someone. And their fascination has no place. Your fascination. And I think laugh for it because I love it till now. You know? But as a professional, you must perform for people. Like a surgeon. You know? With an analytic brain. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, my assistant, Bill. Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Bill. Bill, I see you have a nice handkerchief. I will use it for a moment, you know. Very nice. You see why I use foreign handkerchiefs? Because I don't need to wipe my hands in my own. A handkerchief, no hole inside. Will you make with one finger now? Which one you prefer? That one, that one, that one, that. A hole in the handkerchief here, just like that. Beautiful. Oh, do you carry always some silks in the handkerchief?
No.
But that's fantastic, you see. Okay, we put the silk back. Just like that. Now, give your left hand. Keep finger together. Oh, yeah, close together. Will you put it over the handkerchief? Just like that. Beautiful. Blow on it. Fantastic. Now, this corner of the hanky, take with left hand. The other, with the right hand. The silk disappeared. Penetrated the handkerchief, as you see, and appeared in my left hand. It's a normal penetration. Yeah, that you can put on your knees, because we will do now another thing. I put, you can see, yes? Mm-hmm. The handkerchief, the silk, into my left hand. With your left hand, will you slap a little bit, or not too strong? Moment, where do you have it? It's impossible. Give right hand, look, there's nothing between my fingers.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Good. Close my hand. You have seen everything empty. And the silk is again there. Just like that. Okay. Now, we have here one piece of paper. And you will perform yourself a beautiful piece of magic. Please, keep that tube like that with 3 fingers. 3. Nice. One, only one time. You are permitted to look in. Okay, finished. Now we put the silk into my left hand. Just like that. Will you lift it a little bit like that? It disappeared and appeared here. See? For souvenir.
Thank you.
And of course, your handkerchief. Will you make again well, beautiful, everybody sees, yeah? always a little bit of dust. Now we put everybody sees well, yes? Will you close it with a cork? Yeah, thank you. Nice. A little bit more, we press it. Now, put the hand above it, and a little bit powder, magic powder. Do you have a little bit magic powder?
Oh, yeah.
Powder. Yeah. We blow, take the cork away. And I give you a handkerchief back with your silk, which was before inside.
Thank you.
My friends, of course, as you guess, as you know, I am working with a thumb tip. That's normal. In France, where I came actually now from, they used to make thumb tips, fantastic thumb tips now. My thumb tip is done by a friend of mine. It's 800 francs. You know, prosthetic work. You don't see it. You can make close up, you see nothing, because it's invisible. See? Completely invisible. But when I blow on it, it becomes immediately visible. You're laughing. I really can work with that thumb tip. I will give you an example, because the color is not as important. It helps, for sure, to work freely, with no fear to be discovered. But even with a thumb tip like that, we can do our job. So it happened to me that I didn't have any thumb tip, and a friend of mine was smoking a cigar, and he had a cigar tube. So I cut off the golden end of the cigar tube, and I work with that for friends. That's the thumb tip. I will give you an example. Your push, of course, is not such a perfect thumb tip for working. It's just to show you. You put the thumb tip behind your belt. It's one of the methods to get the thumb tip onto your thumb. We take a handkerchief. Yes, that means we ask for a handkerchief, and by asking we say, there is someone who has a handkerchief, ladies and gentlemen. And we do that. It's not elegant, but it serves the purpose. Normal. And we get the thumb tip onto the thumb. We take now the handkerchief from a spectator, and we show it. Like that. Like that. And of course, we show that there is no one hole in the handkerchief. Now we ask to make a, how you say, a well in the handkerchief. Yeah? Will you make a well? Yeah, he makes a well. And we take out the silk. That's all. And the thumb tip is, of course, all the time here. The way, that means my way of working with a thumb tip, is a little bit different from the usual way, because I don't use the thumb for keeping a thumb tip ever on it. I use it only to transfer the thumb tip from one place to the other place. Mostly I keep the thumb tip in the palming position. And there are three positions. That, that position, and that position. These are positions like that. So now working like that, with a normal thumb tip, you do that. You show. When you talk, you do that. Yes. You do that. And from behind it looks like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. You must get used. You read, You eat, you sleep, but you keep the thumb tip on your thumb, and you make that until you got it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the working with a handkerchief. I just will use the thumb tip to show you the technique. One can see it? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. You put it over the handkerchief. And now, showing that there is no hole, you take the thumb tip over with the left hand here. See? Now you ask the spectator to make a well like that. Of course, the spectator never sees. Yeah? He makes you say, will you make a well in the handkerchief? And you remove by showing him the thumb tip. Yes? You take him by the arm. The arm covers the thumb tip. Even the thumb tip is bad, it covers. He makes the well, and you take out your silk. That is first technique, yes? Second technique, I will use now the real thumb tip. Well, you take out. Of course, now it comes to that. When you take it out, you can say, oh, what a beautiful silk. And you get rid of the thumb tip, so you can show the handkerchief empty. Yeah? You put over, you say, will you make a well again? He makes a well. And you say, something disturbs you. And you put the thumb tip already into the handkerchief. This is a very quick, very difficult to prescribe movement, to write it down, but to explain like that is easy. After the spectator makes a well, you just approach the hand, the left hand is approaching until it gets, and you continue with the right hand the move. 1, you do second time, and you pretend to take a dust out, and you leave the thumb tip in. Quick, it looks like that. Empty, and the thumb tip is in. Now, we put the silk into the handkerchief, that means into the thumb tip, yes? Here, 1, 2, exchanging by exchanging. Once the thumb, once the... And now, when you come, the last move with the thumb, you take the thumb tip away, and you go with the middle finger, taking over here, and you pull out the middle finger. For the spectator, the silk is here. Yes? Now you ask your assistant to put your hand over it. When he's putting his hand over it, you see, you take out the thumb tip. And you continue. Maybe we get up and I show from the back. So the position is like that for the spectator. You say, would you give me? Cover with your left hand. Blow on it. He blows, and now you say, will you take this corner? And you give him the corner. No, don't do. So you come by taking the corner, you put here the thumb tip into your left hand, and you continue the movement by giving him the corner. You give the other one, he pulls, the silk disappears, and you take the silk out of your fist. That's all. Now, by taking out of the fist, you keep with 2 fingers. You do that, and you approach, showing the hand empty. The effect is that the hand is empty, the left hand. Actually, the thumb tip is here. In the last moment, we open the hand. That's all. Now we put again back, always with this finger, middle, 1, 2, 3. You continue 4, yes, and it disappeared. From behind, it looks like that. 1, 2, you put. Thumb is always behind. And now when you go out, you just turn a little bit here. You continue with the middle finger, but the thumb goes into the thumb tip. It continues the move back, upwards. So you take the thumb tip, you get rid from behind, not from here. Yeah? You got rid. You can show for a fraction of a second to the audience like that. You take the arm of the spectator and you hide the thumb tip behind. You use the arm as a cover. You let slap. You show it's nothing, it disappeared. Now, you take over here. You see? You come, the thumb tip is here. So you take over. You see? And you show, you ask him where the silk is gone. Again, you take, and you show like that. You take another arm. You let him check, close, and the silk appears in the hand. You repeat that. See? Again, once. This is another move. And you show the hands empty. It looks from behind like that, with the yellow one. When you took out the silk, you take out 1. You do that once. You do twice. By the second time, you take over with the thumb here. You continue. You turn it. And by taking with these 2 fingers, you put the thumb tip into palming position here. You continue like that. You put over, and you cover the thumb tip, and you can show your hands empty. Yeah? Now, you give for examination. You keep the thumb tip here, yes? You give for examination. In the meantime, you just turn. When the thumb tip is like that, you turn it like that, and you take over the silk by taking the thumb tip away. You continue, and you do the same movement. I show you. Keep, of course, the hands like that. You do the same movement as with a handkerchief, and you let the thumb tip. You lift the thumb tip there. So the thumb tip is now with the hole, with the opening down to your left small finger. Now you can make a tube from a paper, and you give to the spectator for keeping. And now you make another dispersion of the silk. Just you push the silk from underneath, once with thumb, once with the finger, once with thumb, once with the finger, once with the thumb. You take away, and you continue with the finger. That's all. You say, will you bring it up a little bit? You keep, you through. And you take out the silk from the tube. Now the thumb tip is, of course, here. So you insert your thumb in the thumb tip, into the thumb tip. You open. That is fast. Hop. You come like that. Yes. You take over, and you come like that. So now you can give to the spectator, and he sees the fingers and the thumb impeccable. It's okay. So let's explain now the secret of the cork mystery. That's the cork. I will give you to keep it immediately now, yeah? Of course, you have the thumb tip. Now you ask the spectator. You make all that what I showed. You ask the spectator to make a well, always with that. You let the thumb tip slide into the handkerchief, and we put the silk into the handkerchief like that. That's what I show. Again, the same move. Ask the spectator to close with the cork. And by pushing now you yourself, don't let him push more. By pushing yourself, you go with the thumb into the thumb tip. You push, and you remove the thumb tip. Just like that. Take over his arm. Let him slap. Yes. Take the thumb tip into the palming position. Here. Pretend to take some magic powder from one pocket, from the other pocket, and slip it into the pocket. The spectator opens the cork, and you show the handkerchief that it is empty. And that's all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, by using these techniques, I will show you my way of making a cigarette disappear, a little cigarette. Thank you. Let's say that's a cigarette. Yeah. After taking the handkerchief from a spectator, putting over the hand, will you keep it? Putting over the hand and doing all these moves I showed before. After making a well, yes, and getting the thumb, you push the cigarette, you put the cigarette. Now, that is not so nice. I take the corner further, close to the audience, this corner, and by taking it, I turn the hand by covering the hole, and I remove the thumb tip, like that. Now I uncover, and by uncovering, I take over, I uncover. So now the thumb tip is in this position. For the audience, nothing changed. Here is the cigarette, yes? And now you can quietly let the cigarette disappear and show that the handkerchief is in a normal shape. You take and throw the handkerchief in the air and you show it. That's all. And now there is a nice idea of letting the thumb tip disappear, to get rid of the thumb tip without the spectator to know it. Yes? So, when you showed that, you show that there is nothing. You come with both hands together and you take out your thumb and just keep with the tip of your thumb, the thumb tip. Make a tube. By straightening, slide the thumb tip into the handkerchief and take over like that. And by passing your magic table, where is a top hat or where there are silks or ropes, you just say to whom belongs the handkerchief and you give it. And the thumb tip slips down, and that's all. Well, you have at home for sure a washing machine to wash the shirts, everything.
Yeah.
I will show you today, and of course for all of you, the smallest washing machine in the world, which is washing only silks and handkerchiefs. Just like that, you see. So I put it into the washing. That is the washing machine. My left hand. We put it here. See? Now, of course, we need washing powder. I have an imitation of washing powder here. Will you keep it?
Yeah.
Just like that. Fantastic. We need also glasses. Very important. Now, I put powder into the machine. Will you keep it? We close the machine and we turn it on. Stop. We open. That's not normal. It shrunk. Wait, I know maybe the water was too hot. Or maybe too much powder. I used too much powder. We put again. Yeah? Into the washing machine here. We take it. Powder. Will you keep it? No. Like that. Close. Ooh. What happened? It shrunk to an invisible size. That's impossible. I know why, because this is not a washing powder, it's the vanishing powder, vanishing powder, how you say in English, you see? Look at that. Dear friends, the washing machine miracle. You have a small box which is imitating you, if you construct yourself, which is imitating washing powder. Anyone. You keep it in the right jacket pocket. Then we have a color-changing tube, the common one. We have two silks, one large, one very small. So the small one we put into the color-changing tube. Yeah. And we put into the small pocket or a clip to keep it under the armpit. Just like that. We can put it also under the belt. When you have a vest, yes, you cover it, and that is here. The large one, the big one, you put in the breast pocket. One thumb tip, which you put behind the belt here, and a pair of glasses. Also behind the belt or here, but better here. Now, the working is simple. Taking out the silk, if you have the color-changing tube under the armpit, you just free and you put the tube into the sleeve. So the tube falls here until the elbow. Yes? You bow the elbow and prevent it from dropping out. Let's say it's here, yes? Now, and at the same time you take out the silk. You show the silk and you show that that is the washing machine. That drops automatically. Washing machine, you see, a normal, and you show. This is this way of working. It slips in out from the sleeve. Now you do one. The second time you let drop. You continue the movement. You show the hand empty. And now we put in fully until it comes a little bit out. For the spectator, you just did what? You just pushed the silk into your left hand. But that you removed already. Yes? Here, when you pushed in, you just do that. And you continue, and that's all. Yeah? Now you say, I have here washing powder. And by taking out the washing powder carton, you let the color changing tube in the right pocket. You put it on the table. If you have an assistant, you give to keep, just like that. Beautiful. Now you say, we have here glasses. By taking the glasses, you take the thumb tip to the palming position, and you take the glasses to your outer pocket, breast pocket. Now you are in this position. You explain that we have to put a little bit powder. You put the thumb tip over your thumb. Powder. You close. You let it run. Do. Pick. It opens, and the silk becomes small. Now, with this hand, you come like that with the thumb tip. You see? You come like that. You put it over your left hand, and you start pushing here. But by starting pushing, you get the thumb tip into your left hand to this position, and you push. You push like that, as I showed before, all that, yes. Now you turn, again, hop. You take the washing powder. You let the machine run again. It shrunk to an invisible size that you have. Now you say, it's impossible. What happened? I know. And taking back, you take to the palming position. You take out your glasses, you look at that, and you say, because it's a vanishing powder, not a washing powder. And by giving to the spectator, you let the glasses with the thumb tip drop into your pocket. And that's all.
We hope you enjoyed this program. What you've just seen is only one of the more than 70 great programs available to you in the Greater Magic Video Library and the Teach-In series. Each has incredible performances by world-famous magicians and the secrets behind how each trick is done and performed. The Greater Magic Video Library and the Teach-In series programs are based on the highly effective show and tell method, with each trick performed and then followed by the how-to and why behind the trick. These artists have spent thousands of hours perfecting these tricks, and now you'll learn the secrets that make them great. Every program has great performances and insightful teaching. Magic, the way only the masters can do it. For a complete program listing and ordering information, go to our website at www.greatermagicvideolibrary.com. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, the Greater Magic Video Library and the Teach-In series will help you perform magic. We hope you enjoyed this program. What you've just seen is only one of the more than 70 great programs available to you in the Greater Magic Video Library and the Teach-In series. Each has incredible performances by world-famous magicians and the secrets behind how each trick is done and performed. The Greater Magic Video Library and the Teach-In series programs are based on the highly effective show and tell method, with each trick performed and then followed by the how-to and why behind the trick. These artists have spent thousands of hours perfecting these tricks, and now you'll learn the secrets that make them great. Every program has great performances and insightful teaching. Magic, the way only the masters can do it. For a complete program listing and ordering information, go to our website at www.greatermagicvideolibrary.com. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, the Greater Magic Video Library and the Teach-In series will help you perform magic.